Hey everybody, Craig with Single Length School here, and we are back. This is week 2 of our State of Golf video podcast. So this week we're going to be talking on a few different topics here, and let me pull up my notes. So we're going to touch on some different things like why I chose the clubs that I play. Want to find out why you choose or decide to choose the clubs that you play. We'll cover a little bit about last week, what happened on the tour with Patrick Reed, Victor Hovland, a little bit of child coming out in Bryson, so to speak. Take a look at the Honda Classic, which starts today. We're also going to talk a little bit about some golf balls, and then I'm going to wrap up with season kickoffs. What kind of events do you have that you participate in to start off your golf season? You guys know I'm in Pennsylvania. Today is a terrible day. My daughter had a 2-hour delay, just snow and cold and ice, but there's some season events, season kickoff events that I'm looking forward to. And so what I want you guys to do is down below in the comments, comment and let me know, or in the chat box here on the live feed, let me know what season event that you like to start out with. Is there a particular one you play every year, whether it's a scramble, some kind of tournament? I want to hear from you guys what you like to do and how your season starts. So as we get rolling here, always remember, do me a favor. If you like the content, like what we produce, like what we give you, hit the notifications button down below and also subscribe to the channel so you know when our channel goes live or we release a new video and we have something out there for you. So let's dive right into this week and let's start on topic 1. Topic 1 is a question I get over and over and over again, whether it's somebody in my league that I'm playing with or some guy I just jump on the course with. I've got the single length irons. The question is, why are you playing single length irons? Does it really help your game that much? Well, for me, it did. I started about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, somewhere with single length irons or one length irons. Many of you know them as. The reason for choosing those really came down to something I noticed in my consistency when I was playing a traditional set, standard length irons, where everything's a different length, every club's a different length. I had noticed that my smaller clubs, in particular, my 9, my pitching wedge, and my wedges were my best clubs in the bag. I could do what I want with those clubs. I could hit the shots I want. I could get the results that I'm looking for. And I had never really researched one length or single length clubs up to that point. And part of me, even before I started researching, was, okay, let me go ahead, cut down all my clubs to 9-iron length, because that is a length I'm comfortable with. That's a length I hit the shots I want to hit. So as I was doing that, I stumbled across the idea of single length or one length irons, and it struck me. This is what I've been looking for. This is what I need to improve my golf game. So I bought my first set, couple $100, just some generic set from a company that strictly specializes with single length irons. Bought those, and over the course of that first season of using those, and this is the time Cobra is releasing their first one length set with the F7s. Using that, I shouldn't call it a generic set, but a non-name brand set, I noticed right away, and within the first few rounds, that I had immediately knocked 6-7 strokes off my game by having the single length irons in my bag. At that point, I was somewhere in the neighborhood of a 17-18 handicap. If I broke 90, I was ecstatic. That was my goal. By using the single length or the one length irons, now I was shooting low to mid 80s consistently. That 90 mark was no longer a barrier for me. And now I've obviously switched over. We talked about it. I'm now playing the Cobra Forged Black Tech one lengths. I've noticed an even better improvement to my game, where no longer am I striving to break 85 and my handicap's, a 10 or 12. My handicap's actually down in the single digits, bouncing back and forth between a 7 and 8 right now. But I look forward to this season as I continue to improve with my irons and fixing my short game, fixing my shortcomings, there's no reason why I can't consistently break 80 and be down there shooting around par. It's not uncommon for me to go out and play 9 holes and be, even 1 over, 2 over, somewhere in that range. I just need to translate it to an 18-hole round. So for me, that's why I'm playing what I play. I noticed something in my game that really sparked my attention and made me really look into something. But what about you guys? Put something in the chat box or leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're playing and why you chose the clubs that you're playing. Is it something you were fitted for? Is it something that you liked? Is it something you got on a steal of a deal? Let me know and let us know how they're doing for you. All right, topic 2. Let's jump into the PGA Tour a little bit this week. Last week we covered what happened in Mexico, or leading into Mexico, what had happened the week before. Let's talk a little bit about Mexico and Patrick Reed. I'm not one that likes to talk Patrick Reed a lot, especially with all the news out there on him and, the bashing of him for the cheating and everything like that. Hey, I get it. But for him to come through last week in Mexico in that field with the best of the best in the world, especially with the cloud that was hanging over his head, both from what Peter Costas went out there and said that he had physically seen it 3 or 4 times while he was following Reed, commentating, and what Koepka had said last week. There was a big dark cloud over Patrick Reed last week going into Mexico. For him to perform the way that he did under that pressure with that cloud hanging over his head, you got to say, and I'll tell you right now, I truly believe that because of the news that was surrounding him last week, his playing partners were all over him, ready to call him out in an instant. So for him to play the way he did and come out on top, you got to say, you got to admire the guy to a point. Am I defending him? I can't defend his actions. When you're a pro, there's no reason for you to cheat. But what I will tell you is I had this conversation at the golf club the other day. What he has done or been accused of doing in the past, how many times have you done that during your weekend round or in your league? I know our golf league, you're supposed to play it as it lies, but there's kind of an unwritten law in our league where, hey, if you need to improve your lie a little bit, it's okay. So, technically every time we go out and we're out with our buddies, we improve our lie or give ourselves a little bit of a cushion against away from a tree or something like that, we're breaking the rules. So yes, Patrick Reed supposedly broke the rules. Video obviously shows that, there's a really good chance he did, but look at us, look at the amateurs. We do it week in, week out, but I don't agree that you do it on tour. You're out with your buddies or in a practice round. That's one thing. You don't do it in a tournament where you're getting paid or a tournament that really matters, where the true rules of the tournament are played as it lies. But again, hey, kudos to you, Patrick, for, dealing with that black cloud and coming out on top. Another winner last week that a lot of people, not necessarily an event we forget, but the Puerto Rico Open. Victor Hovland breaking through for the first time. He's a big thing. One of the new young guys with Matthew Wolff and Colin Morikawa coming out from college last year out to the tour. Hey, nothing but props for the guy. You go out, alternate field event, even though the best in the world aren't necessarily in the Puerto Rico Open. You go out there, you prove yourself, you secure your card, you get some invites to some majors. Good for you. Way to go, Victor. But that brings me to another question. Looking at different things, there's supposedly this Puerto Rico Open curse. If you win it, nobody that's won it in, a dozen or so years has ever won another event on tour, except one guy who won the Puerto Rico Open a second time. It seems to be, or appears to be, a curse for guys that you win the Puerto Rico Open and you can't break through. Guys like Tony Finau won the Puerto Rico Open 4 years ago or so, hasn't broke through again. He's been close. I don't see that as necessarily a curse. I see it as a stepping stone and these guys will figure it out. I'm sure Tony's going to break through again here soon. I look at Victor. I look at him as somebody who can be world top 10 and get some more wins here in the next few years. But let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat box. Hey, is there a Puerto Rico curse? Are you happy for Victor? How do you feel about Patrick? And let me know about this one. I'm a single length or one length guy. Obviously, the main name that plays it is Bryson DeChambeau. Last week in Mexico, I think he forgot cameras follow him everywhere because he got caught pounding the daylights out of the green for a spike mark that affected a putt. Initial thoughts from me on it, something very, very childish. I've always learned with golf, you respect the course, you respect the greens crew. You don't do anything to damage the course. Anything you do, make sure you repair it, obviously, with divots or ball marks. But blatantly taking your putter and slamming it down onto a spike mark, not a fan of it. I'm a fan of Bryson's. He's unique. He's different. He plays similar clubs to what I play, but I don't think there's room in the game. And this conversation happened the last few years with John Rahm and, his anger issues that would arise on the course. Yes, golf's a gentleman's game to an extent. Yes, we go out there with our buddies, but one thing I always want to make sure I do, my buddies do, is we take care of the course, keep it in great shape. And that's something that I feel there was just a momentary lapse with Bryson. Those types of lapses, I get on the course. I don't slam my clubs. I actually tend to swear really loud. But, again, what do you guys think? Did he cross a line? Was he just, is it something that's acceptable for you? Let us know. Let me know. Comment down below. I'd love to hear everybody's thoughts on, the PGA Tour the last week. This week, Honda Classic, the bear trap. Everybody loves those holes that, we can group together and call a certain thing like the bear trap. But Honda Classic is one of my favorite events in the season because it usually marks really the turn where everybody starts to focus towards the Masters. We know the first major, the Masters, early April. So with the Honda Classic being this weekend, we're a little over a month out. We're about 5 weeks out from the Masters. That starts to get my blood pumping. My wife, not so much. She's a doll and she loves it and she'll put up with it, but there's nothing she hates more than golf on TV Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Not only live, but I watch the replays so I can catch any shots I missed. But the Honda Classic this week, it's nice to see Ricky's back in the field. Some of the bigger names are there. Tiger, obviously not, taking a week off. We'll see him next week. But Honda Classic, the bear trap, what do you guys think? Is this the event that really marks the march towards the major season for golf? Or is it something that really doesn't get you pumped, or it's just another tournament until we get to the Masters and really get into major season? I love communicating, talking golf with everybody, so I like to pick everybody's opinions and see what you think. But Honda Classic this week, if I had to take a guess at who's winning, and I was putting money down on it, you forced me to put $100 on it. I'm not going to pick a known name. I'm going to pick somebody that's going to come out of the woodwork, possibly their first tour win down there this week. I don't think it's going to be somebody that's going to repeat win. This is going to be a tournament this week that is going to be somebody that you didn't expect. Not a big name, but let's see what happens. Let's keep tuned and we'll talk about it next week, who came out on top, and we'll discuss it on next week's State of Golf video podcast. Next topic, something that, again, I'm unique in. I get a lot of questions on the course. Why do I do this? Or why did you buy what you buy? And it's something that has become a little more relevant and a little more prevalent here over the last few years. Again, not name dropping. I did it last week with these guys, but My Golf Spy, they do their golf ball testing every year. And you're getting the likes of Titleist and your TaylorMades and your Callaways, all the big names, the Strixons. And then they put in there and compare some of the direct to consumer, the direct to golfer golf ball brands, the Vice, the Snell, the Cuts, those types of guys. What really is the best bang for your buck? And obviously, a lot of people think that the Pro V1, the Pro V1X are nothing can compare to those golf balls. Those are the only ones they're going to play. They don't mind spending $50 a dozen for that ball. I'm not one of those guys. I'm not. I can't fathom or get it through my head to spend $50 for 12 golf balls. You lose one, that's basically $3-4 down the drain. I can't do that. I've tried in the past. There were times I was buying Strixons at $40 a dozen. I just can't do it. Not financially, I can't do it. My brain doesn't work that way. The math doesn't add up. So I tend to stick with some of these direct to consumer brands, specifically Cut and Snell. Last year, if you kind of take a look back in some of my older videos from last year, I did a review on the Cut, talking about the Cut a little bit, specifically the Cut Blue. Cut Blue is a 4-piece ball, urethane cover, very similar makeup to the Pro V1X, some of the other balls out there that are tour quality balls. And Cut and Snell both produce tour quality balls. So does Vice. But I played Vice for probably about half of last year, and then I switched over and bought some Snell MTBX. I bought those in a bulk pack at $25 a dozen. I actually did have the Snell out and compared it. I borrowed a Pro V1X from one of my buddies, and I just didn't see a $25 a dozen difference at all. In fact, with the way I play in my game, the Snell actually performed better for me than the Pro V1X. Off the tee, it was longer for me and had better dispersion. I was a little bit tighter, a little bit straighter. The Pro V1, it is what it is, but you're paying for the name. This season I went back. Obviously, I haven't really started the season, but I'm back to the Cut Blue. They redid some work on the ball. I haven't tested the new ones I got yet, but one of the things that was an issue for me last year with the original Cut Blues that I was playing was my cover was cutting and scuffing a little bit easier than I wanted to. After 1-2 holes, the ball was done. And that was something I wasn't happy with. That's why I went to the Snell. Cut sent an email, hey, we fixed this, so I gave him another shot. And for 10 dozen golf balls, it's like, if you watch for the right deal from Cut, you can get them at $15 a dozen. So 10 dozen golf balls, tour quality, $15 a dozen, $150 for 10 dozen of balls. That's only 3 dozen Pro V1X. So to me, it doesn't make sense to spend that type of money. Once I get out there with the Cut Blues, I'll definitely get another review out here, see what they do. I will tell you that a few weeks ago when I was out there and we had a little break in January, kind of end of December, January, and I was out there, I had some of last year's Cut Blues left over, took them out. I was playing with the pro at our course, one of my buddies, and he wanted one. He saw the performance. He wanted one to compare with his Bridgestone, so he took it. I haven't seen him since to ask him what he thinks of the performance, if he's had a chance to play it or not. But again, what balls do you guys play? Is there a particular brand that you stick to? Do you pay a lot, or do you pay less? Do you play a name brand, or do you do direct to consumer? Leave us some comments, shoot us an email, let us know, and hopefully as we get going here into the season and, maybe I can work some things out. I might be able to get us some giveaways and things like that. I might be able to help supply, some balls or whatever I can get my hands on that I'm not going to have to pay out of pocket for, but we'll see what we can do. So that's kind of where I am with the golf ball thought. Tell me, what do you think of direct-to-consumer balls? Are they for you, or are you just wanting something you can go buy off the shelf? All right. So at the beginning of the video, I asked you guys to tell me in the chat box or down below in the comments about season opening events that you guys enjoy. Is there an event that you typically play in every year that really marks the start to your season? For me, our club, I'm a member at a club. I also do some work down there. I do some marketing work for them and kind of help out with different things and events and things like that. So one of the events that we have to start the season is our Irish Open. And we're in Pennsylvania. We usually try and schedule it 2 weeks after St. Patrick's Day, just because the Pittsburgh Irish Parade is the Saturday right after St. Patrick's Day. So we try and schedule away from the parade day. But the event itself, 18 holes. Last few years, it's been cold, really cold, but even some snowflakes. But it's amazing to me at how quickly that event fills out for us. So it's 4-man scramble. The event this year, I believe, is March 21st is the day. We're sitting on February 27th, and I will tell you, last week we sold the event out. It's a huge event in the Pittsburgh area. We get teams from all over the city, all over Western Pennsylvania that come in for this event, and it's our club's kickoff. And we know that, the season, the weather may not cooperate for a few more weeks, but it's something that starts our new season. And it's something that I look forward to. It's a great event. Obviously, there's green beer on tap, beer carts, all kinds of different things, Irish themed food throughout the event. And it's one of the greatest events I play in. And our club has a lot of scrambles, and I've played in a ton of scrambles, but this is by far one of the most fun ones I play in because it truly gets me pumped up for the season. When the event's here, I know the season started. Now, unfortunately, this year, I'm not playing. My daughter's got some things going on that are going to take me away. And by all means, it's nothing against my daughter. She's got some plays that I'm looking forward to. That is the first day of a new play that she's got a big role in. So I'm really looking forward to it. So I'm not depressed at all. I'm missing golf. I'm happy to be spending the time with my daughter. But just that day itself, hitting that day is going to be a milestone because I know the season is here. It's now. At that point, usually we're able to get 2-3 good days of golf a week for 3 or 4 weeks until April really kicks in and we get all of the good golf weather coming back in. So, but another event that actually just this morning I found out about, for those of you that follow, that don't know, that haven't seen some of the videos last year, maybe you don't follow our Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, which, by the way, you should. Maybe you should head over and do that. Over on Twitter, you can find us at One Length School. On Instagram and Facebook, it is at Single Length School. But my daughter is 8. She's an avid golfer. Summer comes, she's in camps. She's in drive, chip, and putt. She is in a local junior kids tour. So she does a lot of golfing as well. And she gets out on the course with me. And as we get into the summer, I'm sure you'll see her in some of the videos that we're going to bring you. But got an email today, or saw a Facebook post from the junior golf tour that she plays with. It's through US Kids Golf. So, and what I noticed is this is something new this year with US Kids Golf. So I'm going to explain to you what it is. And then if you have a child that is into golf, your local US Kids Golf Tour may have this event. So look into it. It'd be a good way. But in April, they are actually doing a parent-child 9-hole scramble event. I've never had the chance to really play any type of competitive golf with my daughter, with either of my children. My daughter's 8, my son's 3. So my daughter, when she's out playing her tournaments, I'm out there caddying. She's out in camp. I'm just riding around, making sure she's okay. And when we play, I try and keep it light and fun because I don't want her thinking she needs to try and beat me because then she gets frustrated. So got the saw the notice today for the scramble. It's a team scramble. It's a parent and a child. First time I've seen it. It's a 9-hole event. It's probably an hour and a half away from us, but immediately I text my wife. I said, anything going on this day in April? She's like, nope. I said, me and Minka are going golfing. It's a tournament. We're going to go, we're going to play, and we're going to have some fun. And I think this is a great way for me and her to bond. And actually the cost itself is not bad at all. It was $95 for both of us to play golf, our cart fees. Yes, we know it's 9 holes, but golf cart fees and lunch. Plus the top 2 teams get trophies in each group. So we will be playing in the 8 and 9 group, girls 8 and 9. So I'll be curious to see where they set up the tees for her. I'm sure I'll probably be back on the white or the black tees that day. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. That's going to be, the Irish Open kind of signals the start to my season, but this parent-child event is going to really start the kickoff for her season. We've been getting her to the range, getting her ready for her drive, chip, and putt season. She's looking forward to that, which her local qualifier is not until June, but she's looking forward to getting back on the course. So by the time school's wrapping up and everything, that parent-child scramble is going to be so much fun. That's really going to kick off her season and get her going. So looking forward to those couple events. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to. Any events that you guys are looking at participating in. I know some of you guys are in golf weather all year round. Unfortunately, I'm not. But, I know even in those golf areas, there's a golf season and there's a non-golf season. My buddy lives in Tampa. Same thing. They have an off season for golf. So even he gets into some of the kickoff events and enjoys watching those and different things like that. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions or, want more information or want to talk to me directly. You can leave a comment below. You can shoot me an email, singlelengthschool@gmail.com. Again, guys, that's going to wrap it for this week. Like I said, I try and keep it around 30 minutes, but again, go over to Facebook and Instagram @singlelengthschool. Follow us there, or go over to Twitter @onelengthschool. Give us a follow there. Make sure you hit the notifications button and the subscribe button below to follow and be updated when we release new content. I should have something again for you next week. Fingers crossed, I might be able to get something out swinging and not sitting in the office here. But again, guys, if you have any questions, hit me up, let me know. And aside from that, we will see you next week. We'll bring you the State of Golf 3rd podcast next Thursday about the same time on the same YouTube channel. And until then, we'll see you guys in the fairway. Have a great one.